I want to say will be eager to end their loss streak at what is currently 15 games.
15 and counting. Let's take a look at the runes here. We have a very fast rise. We have Jax actually going for laning phase runes and grasp. I'm always fascinated to see what Jaxes try in the lane. Most Jax go for grasp, and I think especially in the matchup against the Renekton, it's quite good to make the matchup more playable. I really like when Jaxes try to go for lethal tempo to scale, because if they can get through the laning phase, it's such an amazing rune, but the grasp still makes sense. It's still the more consistent rune, and why wouldn't Nagia go for consistency? They know they win every game against MBE if they just don't int. So it's the safer choice, maybe not the most exciting choice, but it makes a lot of sense.
It looks like Tom Rio is going to be starting on his red side. Same for Killer Queen, but Tom Rio is going to be starting on these Raptors. So maybe we'll see an early gank towards the bottom side from Tom Rio, because he does have a lot of setup with slows in Zodiac. Zodiac having the dredge line on that Nautilus and slows. If he has that Gravitum gun available, just adds that extra ability for a gank to really come through successfully.
Yeah, you usually need level 3, level 4 for the gun rotation to go through, because in the early game it's not as easy to rotate through the guns, because level 1 you can't even use your Q, of course. You don't have the Q available, so you can't burn through 10 ammo. Okay, that's a hook.
As I said, it's the VCS. There's no such thing as a bad Nautilus, and Haki loses a few hundred hit points.
Yeah, the trade is kind of even though. Well, you need to be careful. Slows has the added range now stacked up with his lethal tempo in level 1 traits on Aphelios. That's almost unheard of, because usually Aphelios doesn't really get to play the game level 1. Champion without an ability is not the greatest, but in this case, they were doing quite well. They're still getting pushed in, of course. Zarya into Aphelios always goes Zarya's way in terms of the pushing war, unless Aphelios has the blue gun, as we said earlier. That takes a few minutes to set up. But yeah, Tom Rio is setting up the early bot lane gank. I like this reaction here from Wales, already protecting the bot lane with really deep vision. 2 wards placed into the jungle of Tom Rio, so he's spotted on his camp right here.
And will Killer Queen look to steal this one away from Tom Rio? I think he is going to go for the play. Tom Rio won't see Killer Queen coming, and CBL is already making his way up. So in the end, Killer Queen decides, you know what, I'll just go for this blue buff, and Tom Rio just is not being allowed to go into his jungle because he has to play 1v3.
That's really nicely done. I like the setup a lot. Team World showing us a lot of what Saigon Buffalo is known for the last 2 years. A lot of early game setups, a lot of good planning. And even with new players coming in CBL and Haki. So it's always nice to see these little extra macro performances. And especially against a team like MBE that has been struggling so much with the macro concepts. Attacking them early is a good way to get an early lead with almost no investment whatsoever. And look at Tom Rio. He's completely shut out of the game. He has to stay in bot lane, just looking completely useless there. Has to stay behind the minions to not interrupt his bot lane farm as well. He was spotted with the blast cone as well. Not blast cone, with the vision plant. So they even know he's coming, and they have another ward. Oh my god, this is the horror show for Tom Rio. He's just not able to do anything in this game.
And while all of this is happening, Killer Queen just pathing straight through mid on to Tom Rio's Raptors. And Tom Rio still has a couple of his camps on the bottom side up. I think Wolves are definitely available for him to take. I don't know about
Doesn't look like it.
Killer Queen. The thing is, there's a ward right on it, so I can't...
Nope, it's gone.
Yeah. Did Killer Queen take the Wolves?
Yeah, I think he took everything away from him in the bot side.
Well, Killer Queen's Lee Sin playing well, courtesy of Haki and CBL having a lot of bot lane pressure. And now Nagia is just proxy farming this wave away from Summer, which is not something that you often see from Jax's, but hey, Killer Queen's on the top side of the map, so Nagia has a lot of protection.
Yeah, Nagia is just completely smurfing on him in this top lane matchup right now. Chat is already talking about the matchup, Jax against Renekton, and this Jax invested heavily into laning phase as we have a fight in bot lane.
Being chunked down low, and Slows is so incredibly low, but does survive. CBL pulls 1 kill back, a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane, but critically for Box Esports, it's Slows who gets the kill.
Yeah, Haki not with the best early performance in this game. Had his flash ready. Might have been able to flash away from some of Slow's attacks there. but instead he falls down. Slows with the first blood, still an advantage in terms of gold to Team Wales overall, mostly because of top lane. And yeah, this is the weapon combo where you can start to play Aphelios in lane more aggressively, because blue and purple have a lot of damage between them, and a lot of CC too. So instantly the trade goes in their favor, even though CBL finds a nice little hook there.
Really nice hook from CBL. Really want to praise Zodiac for finding that very narrow angle to land the dredge line onto Haki. If that doesn't land, I think it is just the kill going the way of Team Wales. However, Flash is still available for all 4 bottom laners, and Tom Ria once again having a look towards the bottom lane. The Killer Queen is hovering around.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to make the point in top lane, because the Jax invested into double Doran's items to dominate laning phase. It's not something we see a lot, and of course combined with Grasp, that makes him super tanky and strong in early trades. Here we go, Zodiac in trouble.
Flash forward with a flame. Dredge line though does not land.
Uh-oh.
The resonating strike not able to get the kill on to a Zodiac. So it's just the health bars that will diminish for Box Esports, and Tom Rio just hovering around looking for a potential angle to follow up in the play that never really presented itself.
Not able to get the kill there because Killer Queen is not level 6 yet. He wasn't able to use his flash kick to reposition Zodiac into his own team. They do get the flash out of Zodiac, I believe, so he's now a little bit more vulnerable, but I mean, he's still level 5 Nautilus, so not the easiest target to shut down. And Team Wales still with good control on the bot side. Bot lane and mid lane are winning in the trading war right now. And this is going to be the first dragon, and one of the best individual dragons in my opinion. It's just nice on every single champion on the Rift. You get 9 ability haste and 9 attack speed. It's just so nice, especially for the early jungle clears, for ADCs. Yeah, just a really, really good dragon to pick up in the early game.
And an early Drake for Team Wales, just like they got in Game 1. 20 CS lead for Nagia, and Nagia is essentially saying, look, Summer, I know you got a Flame Horizon over me in Game 1, but this is what happens when I'm actually in lane.
Yeah, Nagia was not playing lane. Now he wants to make his laning stats look a little bit better, because unfortunately the last game really messed with our stats. Remember, the early game stats for bot lane were also completely screwed, because Sloth was at, what, 5 CS, while the enemy team was at 40, so this series is going to mess with all our stat keeping. But in the end, Nagia is trying to rectify some of that, because he's almost 30 CS up here at 8 minutes in the game.
It is it's kind of disgusting, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Yoroi, but I see Renekton, and I think you're Renekton. You should therefore win like every single lane matchup unless you're playing against a Quinn or a Vayne.
Yeah, unfortunately that's not the truth anymore. This is also something, yeah, people still think that, and you expect that to still be true, but honestly in this year, Renekton is not really that strong of a lane. I mean, he's still a strong laner, but it's okay.
Oh,
that's a good
nice
setup.
Two-man play coming in, and Glory shows up as well. CBL is low, CBL will fall, but down goes Zodiac. Flash away from Mahaki, probably unnecessary, and Glory, just like in Game 1, picks up a double kill in the bottom lane.
Okay, you have to buy CBL dinner or something after that one. He did everything to set up this double kill, you just let him die for no reason whatsoever. So look at this, CBL is really nice double flay. He gets him under. That is one of the weirdest interaction I've ever seen. And now CBL, they just don't step in front of CBL to block for him against slows. Like Haki could have just stepped in front of his support, and then they couldn't have attacked his
I think
support
Haki
anymore.
dies though if he does that, because Haki was already very low at the end of the play.
Yeah, it did look a little bit like they sold out their support. It's still a double kill, it's a really good play. And CBL set it up with his Thresh. I talked about CBL Thresh in the first game. It's his number 1 champion, the champion he was super famous for, the champion he was better at than any other support back in 2020 spring when he won the league alongside Slader on Team Flash. So it's good to see CBL, a little bit of old school CBL masterclass on the Thresh.
Well, do you actually know what CBL stands for?
Absolutely no idea.
Completely busted Lasso, and now he flays under the tower onto Zodiac. Haki will pick up his first kill of the VCS.
Sure, that's what it stands for. I'm sure he knows what that means. As we have another little kill, and Team Wales doubling down on the bot lane. You wanted to see bot lane focus, right, for Haki? And after getting killed in the first blood, they have now invested a little bit more time to set their new player up for success. It's kind of hard to judge him against Vid, of course. Where Vid is mostly his weak side player that comes online more in the skirmishes and fights later on, doesn't really play for lane. So far, a decent performance from Haki, but he's pretty far down in CS, so it's not an amazing debut either.
Pardon me, not the best of starts for Haki, and Glory picking up a couple of kills in the bottom lane, and Slow's having 2 kills, and what is now a 20 CS lead does mean that Haki is a little bit worse off than his ADC counterpart, but not a terrible start to the game, and we do have to see how he performs in team fights and skirmishes and positioning. That as Killer Queen looking for a play onto Nugu, flashes out of the
He wants back in, you know him, he wants.
Is showing up, flash forward with the play, Killer Queen chunk down low.
Oh, Glory!
Killer Queen will piece out, but Killer Queen is dashing all over the place. Nugu will finally fall. Zodiac shows up, lands the Dredgeline onto Glory, which means that there's no support for CBL as Tom Rio is on the hunt. But CBL will be able to back out, and Glory once more, because now Haki's making his way up from the bottom lane. Zodiac forced to flash over the wall, but overall it's 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
I feel like today in the Wales house, they're gonna have some wrestling matches or something, because in this series, and especially in this game, they're all selling each other out by misplaying. This time it was Killer Queen, almost Glory, just missing his Q on Nugu, which led to his jungler dying for no reason, if you look at this again. Really nice CBL, once again, being in the right place at the right time.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, Tom Rio would have gotten the kill anyway, but still, unfortunate miss from Glory there, and all of the players are ready to fight. It's good to see MBE strike back. Tom Rio with this more early game focused jungler, that, I mean, it's not really, but at least a little bit better at fighting and skirmishing in the early game, and it's showing off. Tom Rio, once again, with a better performance, and of course, he learned under Levi, the best Wukong player in the league, so it makes sense that Tom Rio is a good Wukong too.
See, I'm just such a contrarian. I'm just trying to think, is there anyone who's better at Wukong than Levi? And I can't think of anyone. Maybe Beanjay is good, but I don't know if he's better than Levi.
Who is Beanjay? Beanjay doesn't exist.
Beanjay only exists in summer. We all know this. Team Wilds are looking for a play bot lane. Poor Slows, he is now playing 1v4, but he sidesteps all the abilities, and Team Wilds are going to be in a really tricky position now. Killer Queen wants to get over the wall, will get over the wall, and CBL, well, he's earned himself 1 dinner. He might earn himself a second dinner. Tom Rio falls, and somehow Team Wells with the damage over the wall. The Chaos Storm, though, doing
Nugu!
Ticking down.
Go!
The shield from the safeguard is enough, and somehow the Blade Caller from Haki, none of the feathers pull through Nugu.
No, this can't possibly be a 1-for-1, right? This can't be a 1-for-1. No. Oh, MBE. MBE. I mean, once again, I have to praise their reaction. I think they actually played this conceptually as well as they could. They were all there to defend their ADC from being dived on, but then the execution, the positioning is once again lacking in this case. How did someone die from MBE's side faster than from Wales? Let's see this again. I think it was Tom Rio who died, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets grabbed into the box and just insta-dies to a lot of burst damage from Glory and Haki. Unfortunate. And then Nugu can't get the execution on Glory. This is so unfortunate. It's so sad to see. So Wales walks away with a 1-for-1, even though they're almost into the whole game away. They need to be careful not to let this spill over into some of their other VCS performances, because I think another team would have punished this one a little bit harder.
Yeah. I do have to question CBL's death sentence. It almost looked like he was predicting Slows' flash, but Slows had already flashed. Or maybe he thought Slows had Galfos. I don't know. Something else to mention. Nagia, over 10 CS a minute. Is incredibly impressive. I do really want to praise him for that.
Yeah, it's a masterclass in top lane, and unfortunately we don't really get to talk a lot about top lane because nothing but farming is happening there. But honestly, Nagia is playing a perfect game. He set himself up for laning phase. He wanted to invest in lane. He went double Doran's blade, double Doran's items and grasp, so full on laning phase, and I mean it paid off. He now is sitting on his mythic. He's really far ahead. He got 3 platings all alone in his lane, I believe. So it's almost impossible to have a better laning performance on Jax against Renekton.
Quick question for you. Wait, why wouldn't Nagia go for Doran's ring over Doran's blade?
AP scalings for Jax are actually quite good. And if you start Duran's Ring, I think he started Duran's Ring, right? Or did he start Duran's Shield?
I want to say Duran's Shield, but I could be completely wrong.
So the thing with Ring is you get double potion, right? So if you start Ring, you have 2 potions instead of just 1. You can only go 1 potion with a shield or blade. So that's most of the time that's one of the reasons. Ooh. I mean, nice try, but there's a cleanse in the enemy team. Maybe check some of the spells first before you do that.
Well, I mean, they got his cleanse out, right? So
yeah, for a flash, though.
Yeah, but now you've got Rune Prison from Glory, you've got Blade Call available, another potential death sentence. You got rid of a big summoner for the Box Esports ADC. I think that's worth.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll see. We'll determine it objectively as whether it's worth if they are able to either get Slows' Flash when it comes off cooldown, or whether Slows' Cleanse comes off cooldown without anything happening.
Yeah, people are saying mana region is the reason to go for Duran's Ring, and obviously that's a nice profit. Oh, we have a fight. No time to theorize.
We'll talk about it later. Zodiac over the wall. See, no cleanse. Let's be honest. Slows would have died anyway, and Haki will be able to secure the kill.
Slows, why do you have to make Milky be correct? Slows, please stop. What are you doing?
I mean, to be fair, even if he had cleanse, I think he's still dead.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because he was wandering into the river alone for no reason. And I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do over there. But there's a nice little lockdown after his cleanse is blown. Okay, it was actually a nice catch. Okay, we didn't see the start of this, so not so much on slows as just a good collapse and a good call from Glory. Really showing off the Rise. I criticized the Rise, and he is having a really good Rise performance, so never mind.
I mean, it's Glory's Rise, to be fair. It is his favorite champion.
It's also into MBE, to be fair, so it doesn't really count, but...
Yeah.
Zodiac, look at his skill order. Zodiac didn't read patch notes. This is gonna... we need to send this skill order over to... What's his name on Twitter? The one who theorizes about all the new builds? Something with M. Molecule, maybe?
Maybe someone I don't follow.
He theorizes about builds and skill orders and stuff, and he's on the crusade for Emax Nautilus. Because apparently that's the higher win rate right now. Yeah, Emax Nautilus seems to be the new thing. And he has E only on 1 point, so Zodiac is not following the trend.
Nah, surely having Q up for the cooldown is better.
So everyone is Emaxing on Nautilus now. All the good players. So Zodiac needs to read patch notes. Yeah, I mean, all the good players. I said that already.
As I said, there is no bad Nautilus in the VCS. I will die on that. Just like there's no bad VCS Alistairs. Or Lee Sins, actually, for that matter.
Yeah, I can get behind the Lee Sin. I'm not so sure about the Alistair and the Nautilus.
Yeah. I mean, the Alistairs just do badly because the Alistairs
Yeah, because it's Alistair, right. Yeah, it's not actually the player. In that case, it's actually the champion. Most of the time, it's not the champion, it's the player. But with Alistair, it's actually the champion, not the player.
Well, Team Wells with a 5.5k goal lead. Box Esports at some point were able to sneak away a Drake, but it does look like Team Wells will be handing Box Esports their 8th series loss of the split and their 16th game loss as Glory being caught out. But you said it before, this is the fast rise runes, and the rest of Team Wales are in for the rescue. Down goes Nugu, down goes Tom Rio, and Team Wales want more. A teleport coming through, though, from Sunwell.
No!
Kept alive by the safeguard. Eventually, an auto will come through, but the rest of Team Wales have joined into the play. Out comes the Feather Storm from Haki. They're looking for Zodiac. How does Zodiac not get rooted by the Blade Caller? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Team Wales will be able to get 3 kills for 1.
Slows is trying hard. Slows is really trying to change his opinion, my opinion of him, because he's putting in a lot of work. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the items to carry this team fight. If this is an Aphelios with 2.5 items or 3 items, I think they hard smash the team fight. This is exactly why I think MBE should try to invest into hyper carries, because their team fighting is not too bad, and the enemy teams tend to end into them because they disrespect them. So just look at how many auto attacks Slows gets off here, and his positioning stays pretty good in all of the fight. The ult might have been a little bit too early, but he has the stacked lethal tempo. He gets a lot of damage onto Nagia. He actually gets the last hit. I think that's a Q with that's a green auto attack that gets the last hit on Nagia there. And he stays safe, keeps himself out of trouble and deals a lot of damage in the fight, so some potential for slows. I'm still holding out for the one game where they maybe have the late game team composition and get into the late game even, and slows and Nugu can carry together.
Well, Box Esports are quite far behind, and it might be difficult to get into the late game, but if they can, slows is looking very, very hot this game. 4 kills, 3 deaths, 2 items completed. He can be an absolute menace if given time in team fights, which he was given in that fight because, well, all of Team Wales weren't present at the fight for about 10 to 15 seconds. And if Box Esports can get another fight like that, maybe it is a path for them to get back into this game.
Yeah, check in with Nagia at 111, so his stat line doesn't look too great. He's still 50 CS up. And he's working on the second item. The one thing that always irritates me about Jack's builds is if they build super aggressively, like he's doing right now, if they go for the Spear of Shojin, the build looks really weak because Spear is so insanely expensive that you're sitting on 2 items, while other Jaxes have 3 or 4 items because the tank items are so much cheaper. But of course, the Spear brings so many nice stats to the Jax, so once he finishes that second item, he's gonna be a menace. And here we have the team fight.
Looking for the play, the Realm Warp coming in. Team Wales want the fight. They want to end the game. Burst it down is a Tom Rio. Big Moonlight Vigil. Chaos Storm as well. Flay onto Sunma. 2 kills for Team Wales. Sentence lands on a 2. Nugu flashing away. The Gale Force. Forward, Haki gets 1, another kill, the flash forward, the root, and the triple kill for Team Wales, the ace overall, and the Wales will march forward in the mid lane.
Not just any ace, that's a 5-0 at 22 minutes. Yes, they were ahead, yes, they just got Baron, but a 5-0 this early on in the game is really a testament to their focus and their shot calling in the fight, their fight calling. They are done with this match, they are done with this week of VCS as they finish the Nexus off in under 23 minutes. What a sudden explosion from Team Wales and from MBE's Nexus. 0-16 now.
Team Wales start off